What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DaniByDemand coming at you with another banger video. Today, I'm going to be talking about my experience with Collegis Education and how they made me quit on the spot, effective immediately. I was there for 1 year. I'm going to go through how I got the job, what it was like working there, and then why they made me quit. So, let's get started. For those of you that don't know what Collegiate Education is, it's a company that pairs up with different colleges and we help students enroll into their college classes. Now, you're probably like, well, how do you help students enroll? We help them get their FAFSA in, make sure we remind them about their transcripts, make sure we remind them about their scholarship money or loan money, just stuff like that. And I was paired up with a college called ASU, Arizona State University, online. So I was helping students that wanted to take their classes and get their degree online. I began with regular students, and then I also was on the military team. So I just want to give that background info just for folks that really don't understand what's going on. I started my collegiate education, higher education journey September 2022. And I was actually referred to this position by my friend Alyssa, who used to work there. They ended up letting her go, and that was also a red flag that I should have took into consideration and quit, but I didn't. My role was called enrollment coordinator, and my job was to email and text students to schedule a appointment with their enrollment coach. And enrollment coaches, they just meet with students all day. That's all their calendar is. It's just meetings with students, meetings with students, meetings with students. In between meeting students, you have to make phone calls to students. And you're basically calling them to remind them to make an appointment or remind them to put in their FAFSA, transcripts, scholarship money, book money, whatever. So coaches' days are pretty booked. Enrollment coordinators, we are very task-based driven and just email, text, email, text, email, text. Moving on to what it was like working there. So first 4 months, had fun, bonded with people, really made some friends there. And also I forgot to mention it is remote except 1 day in office. 1 day in office. They want us in there to bond with our team. Keep that in mind too. I'm in there for 4 months, having a blast, loving my coworkers, loving the job. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never been in a position where I love the work, it's easy, and I'm making friends. This is amazing. 4 months go in, I get a new lead at Arizona State. So I have a lead with the college you're with, and then I have a lead with actual colleges. So I have two different leads. Basically, one team that's with ASU. I know it's so confusing, guys, but I really have to say all of this so you guys will understand. So I get a new ASU lead. His name's Ashanti. I'm not going to say last names because whatever. But he decides that he wants coordinators to get on the phones. Now, I really don't understand why they keep pushing for that, but a lot of people in my coordinator position applied for the job because it said no phones. I don't know who likes being on the phones at jobs and who likes being forced to make phone calls. I really don't know who likes doing that, but nobody in my position did, and that's why we applied for the job, because it said no phone requirement. This was like a diamond in the rough. So he decides he wants to implement that. And I was the first one that says, are we getting a raise? Because coaches get on the phones and they make more than us. No, you're not getting a raise. This is an ever-changing job description, blah, blah, blah. My lead, Ashanti, was a terrible lead. When I mean terrible, this was like the worst leadership I've ever experienced. And ASU is known to be micromanaging, super controlling, and just really not fun to be around. They like to pretend that they are, but they're not. Ashanti had us doing team meetings every single day. What am I updating you from the day before? Please let me know that. On top of one-on-ones, I'm talked out at this point. Oh, let me know if you have any new ideas. I don't have any new ideas within the last 24 hours that we talked. I really don't. Moving forward, I get on the phones and it's maybe 1 to 2 phone calls, maybe 5 a day. It's nothing small. I'm just calling students and saying, hey, you know, don't forget to do this, this, and this, whatever. So I'm looking for a way out, right? This is the worst lead I've ever had. I'm like, F this, like I'm not trying to do this. And honestly, 4 other people on my team ended up leaving and we went to military team. That was a brand new team, and Josh was my lead. Amazing. Like literally, he was the best lead at ASU, and I made sure I told him that before I left, because Josh did not micromanage. He did not meet with us every single day. He did not require everyone's cameras to be on all the time. Like, he was a person. He was a parent and a husband. Like, he understood life. Like, Josh, that was my dude. That was my dude. So I finally get on his team, and within the span of my year long charade there, I guess I want to call it, career there, my job description changed 5 times. And I wish I was kidding. I really, really wish I was kidding. It ended up being no phones to you need to make 60 to 120 calls a day. We basically are turning into coaches at this point. And again, I want to make sure you know the difference. Coaches, they meet with students every single day, all day. And in between those meetings, they're making phone calls to every single student in their queue, in their funnels, to remind them and talk to them and, just bring up like, hey, you have this done. You need to do this. You need to do that. That is what my position was turning into. Coordinators were turning to coaches. Everybody with eyes and ears can see that. It was a menace. We weren't getting any pay raises. And a lot of people there said that they were trying to drive coordinators out because in these like weekly, monthly meetings, they kept saying they over budgeted by bringing on so many coordinators and we weren't bringing as much money. Let's just think this through here, because I said this in a lot of team meetings. Gen Z does not get on the phone. Like, if this was back in the 60s and I'm talking like boomer town, like boomers get on the phone. Boomers answer the phone. Boomers prefer the phone. Gen Z does not prefer the phone. So by you forcing people to make these cold phone calls, that's not going to do anything. Yeah, some people are going to answer, but as you can see, y'all over budgeted because nobody's answering the phones. Nobody wants to get on the phones no more. They want text messages. They want emails. They want to be left the F alone. I just want to also put out there that I was a great worker. Okay, before all these changes where they were forcing us to be call center vibes and do 60 to 120 calls a day, I actually won a Sun Award. And for those of you that don't know, that means like I was one of the top coordinators, and before they had changed the description so many times, I was excelling in the email and text. I was actually reaching out to my coaches like, hey, give me more work. I want more work. My lead gave me a ASU sweatshirt I got to pick out. It was amazing. Like, you feel good when you win Sun Awards. So like there is some sort of incentive on top of Collegis will treat you to lunch a few times. Like they did Potbelly. I think they did pizza before. So like, the pizza party and food, like that's really nice of them. So I can't knock them there. I'm getting down to the tea now. Getting down to the tea. I'm going to be brutally honest here because I'm not embarrassed because I make more now, like hella more. My role for enrollment coordinator is paying $45,000. That should be illegal. Where can you pay rent on that salary, afford groceries, afford life? And I'm not even talking about traveling, luxury. I'm literally just saying the basic necessities. How can you afford to live on that salary? And then be working for people that want to control your every move and be in office once a week. I don't really care. My current job is fully remote. And they pay hella more. So make it make sense. The math isn't mathing. So coordinators get $45K. And then coaches get $50K because they get on the phones. Mind you, coordinators was getting on the phones too, and there was no raise there. I really think they're trying to drive people out and make them quit. So in my mind, I say I'm going to apply for another full-time job. That literally makes sense. I know a ton of people that do that. And I looked into the Collegis handbook. There is nothing in there that says I can't have a second job, a second full-time job. It doesn't say anything in there like that. So I apply for another job and I get the job. I have my offer letter. And so I update my LinkedIn. I'm happy. I'm celebrating. Mm, mm. A week goes by. Nothing happens. 2 weeks go by. Nothing happens. And then all of a sudden, my lead, Matt, messages me and says, hey, let's connect. I already know what's going to happen because I see on my LinkedIn, because LinkedIn tells you who viewed your page. Love that for me. Love that for LinkedIn. So I will insert the screenshots of this man creeping on my LinkedIn. And that has never happened to me the whole year that I've worked for. So I know somebody snitched on me. Whatever you want to call it. So I connect and he adds in Brianna from HR. I immediately know, I'm like, oh, this is serious. So we get on Teams, mind you, cameras are on. And they're basically like, hey, so recently we saw on your LinkedIn that you have another job. And I just wanted to know what the hours were for that. And like, what are your thoughts on that? She literally said that. I was honest. I was like, the hours are from 8 to 5. And right now I'm working 9 to 6 for them, for Collegis. I was like, the hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And I plan on keeping both. Like, the fuck? After I say that, I know they completely did not hear anything except for the hour part. Because the next question Brianna asked me is, so what were your future plans for Collegis then? We don't want to get in the way of something else, another opportunity for you. I was bluntly honest. I'm looking to move and I need to save up. In this economy, it is, you know, very expensive to just live. I feel like I need 2 jobs and I'll be able to afford life and yada yada. They basically were like, well, we're gonna have to get back to you on that. I asked, like, can I finish out all of September? We're gonna have to get back to you on that because we're gonna have to talk to Katie and so. Like, I told them straight up, it's not illegal what I'm doing, and there's nothing in the handbook that says I can't do it. Well, no, you're not breaking any laws, so legally you can't fire me. That's what I'm hearing. Legally, you can't fire me. And so they're like, we're going to reconnect with you. So just hold tight, get off the phone. Literally within the hour, because I took my lunch, they tried to call me back. And then they set up another meeting for an hour after that. So the first meeting was like at 1, the second meeting was at like 3. I get on the second call with them. And they're basically like, we're going to accept your resignation effective today immediately because we can't have you working on other stuff while you're being paid for collegiate hours.
It doesn't say that in the handbook.
It really doesn't say that in the handbook, and they know that. And that's why they had to have me resign. Now, you're probably asking, like, why didn't you fight it? Why didn't you, do this, that, and the third? Like, first of all, I'm not trying to come in every Thursday for office day. I'm not. Okay? Like, I don't want to do that. So I did not want to keep coming up with excuses for getting on Thursday. And you know what? I have a way better opportunity that I'm working with now. Back to that conversation. Effective immediately, she went through all that BS that's like, oh, we're going to send you boxes. We're going to do this. But they wouldn't allow me to clear out my desk in the office. They wouldn't allow me to come back at all to drop off any of my things. It was all, we don't trust you because you have a second job and we're going to send you boxes and I'm going to send you an email that says like we're going to pay you outright. They paid me for 1 week. They did not pay me my 60 hours unused sick time. 60 hours. And in my Paylocity, that's what their little website is that calculates everything. It says unused 60 sick time hours amounts to 1,300 whatever, whatever. They paid me for 1 week and they didn't pay me for my sick time. So it's kind of just a slap in the face to me, which is why I'm making this video and using first names, because it's like, y'all really thought y'all ate.
Y'all really thought y'all ate.
Brianna and Matthew said that how I should have handled this situation was go to my lead and ask them, is it okay if I get a second job? Like, I need to ask them their permission if I can make more money for myself to sustain and live. Now, I totally get, like, there is this like silent rule that you're not supposed to be working two jobs. Literally, I don't understand that. It's not a law. I'm making this video to let everybody out there know that Collegis does not have in their handbook that you can't work two jobs. And I told them that in the meeting. That was one of the last things I said. I said, I know hella coworkers in here that have two jobs and they work on their personal business, because Brianna tried to tell me, you're not allowed to work a second job during the Collegis hours and you're not allowed to work on your business. I said, so I know hella coworkers in here that have second jobs during Collegis hours and they work on their business. Because they didn't post on LinkedIn, that makes it okay. Well, no, their productivity is going to go down and we'll step in. And what if it doesn't go down? Really? Like, what if it doesn't go down? Because that's what a lot of people are doing right now during this day and age. They're working two full-time jobs to survive, because no one can survive in this economy, not even if you make six figures. So it's just kind of like, y'all really don't care about y'all workers. All you care about is making these damn phone calls to students that don't care. And again, it's not in Collegius Education Handbook. And if it was that serious, you should put it in the handbook. And again, they kept saying, given the situation. What situation? A woman like me wants to make more money? And if it's not affecting my productivity, I'm winning awards at this thing. Like, be effing for real. So I also wanted to mention that after I made my exit, which was a Friday, my coworkers let me know that the following week, when they had their little weekly meetings, Matthew was in the meeting like, um, I just want to go over something from HR. If you have a second job, um, please go to your lead and let them know. Waitressing after hours is totally fine. Again, waitressing after hours is not going to get you anywhere. It's really not. Waitressing, they pay $2 an hour, and then the most you make is your tips. Again, let's be effing for real. Like, no one is going to be climbing up that social tax ladder, getting out of debt by waitressing at night and working Collegis by day. Everyone that I know there is not happy, and so many people have left, so many people have quit, and I know that's what they want, because when you quit, they can't give you unemployment, but if they fire you, they can. So that's why they successfully made me quit. It just wasn't giving quality people that actually cared. They just cared about their numbers, especially working with ASU. If you were not on Josh's team, like, I feel bad. These people were being forced to make 60 to 120 phone calls a day. I can't. I can't. My hands are done with the situation. I pray for the current employees there. That is my story on how Collegiate Education made me resign. They made me quit, effective immediately. And I wanted to tell y'all about it, because why not make money off them, since they didn't want to pay me out my 60 unused sick time hours. I also want to say it's been over a week and I have not received any boxes to send my stuff with. So that means I'm going to have to contact them again and say what's going on, because y'all are not going to put this on me.